The Wake VK1200 is currently one of the most affordable display pen tablets in my country. So let's see how good or bad it truly is for its price. Hey everyone, Mukul here. So the Wake VK1200 was recently sent to me by their representatives in India, but my review on it will be completely honest, as artists can easily sniff lies, I believe. And this video will be without my face as I am still recovering and I really don't want to delay this review anymore. The box design is pretty nice and pleasing, nothing tacky or out of design aesthetic on it. The first thing I saw in the box is the stand, which makes a whole lot of difference as compared to a display tablet which doesn't come with a stand. Because a stand is a stand, it can take a stand and also help your art tablet to well stand. And after the stand, I saw the display tablet with a partial wrist glove alongside it to avoid those dirty smudges on the screen. What really impressed me with the box was how neatly everything was put in their respective slots. The presentation here is impressive. With the display tablet you get 2 pens, which is a supreme bonus, and they were in their nice fabric covers, which also feels kinda premium. There's an HDMI cable and a USB-C cable, and both of them have these different shapes on them so that you can never accidentally put them in the wrong slot. What's even more thoughtful is that the Wake logo on the micro USB port comes on the top so that you don't lose your mind trying to get it in. There's also a nice fiber cloth to wipe the smudges from the display and a pen stand, but the nibs do not come installed inside of them. The extra nibs and the nib puller are packed separately, and the addition of the nib puller is quite thoughtful, even though I am not sure how many of us can keep it safe. I mean, clearly not lost souls like me. But even after seeing all of this stuff in the box, you might feel greedy and open the innermost packaging too, like how I did, and you'd not be surprised that you'd find nothing there. So don't bother. But I would say Wake has covered all the essentials here, and including all these components is extremely thoughtful. So full marks so far. The display tablet is pretty thick and the back panel has this nice metal finish on it. Not sure if it's entirely metal or a very nice plastic, so can't really comment on that. It also has 4 rubber feet, which I think will help the tablet being grippy both on the table and on the stand. The USB-C cable alone isn't enough to provide both power and display signal on the tablet, so that could be a bummer for many, as this means you need to connect both of these 2 cables all the time to power on the tablet when it's hooked to your system. On the front, you notice that the bezels are quite thick as they can get actually. So clearly so much of a space on the tablet has been truly eaten by these borders to fill its bloody dark tummy around the edges. On the left there are 6 buttons which have a nice matte non-slippery finish on them. So if you have slippery fingers, you can stop worrying about them. The screen clearly has this mattish protective layer on it, as the glossy glass edges are visible throughout the tablet. Glossy glass edges. On the right you would find these ports and buttons, and the buttons are quite protruded so that you might not face any troubles finding them. The power button has an inbuilt light indicator which turns blue when the screen is turned on. There are only 3 different angles at which you can set the tablet on its stand. I would have preferred a sliding mechanism with which I could have locked it at any angle, but for many the stand might come as a bonus, so I suppose we should all shut up. I am 5 feet 11 inches and for my posture I felt a little higher angle could have been a bit better, but this is something which will be different for different users. But if for some reason you like your display tablets to lay flat as you use them, well, on the VK1200 you'd find the color shift to be quite drastic. So if you generally like displays which have great viewing angles, this will definitely not be one of them. So unless you can turn into a bat and stick yourself on the ceiling, I really can't recommend using the tablet lying flat. The screen has decent brightness and I wouldn't say it's too bad, but I can't really say it's the best or anything close to other expensive display tablets. But the keyword here is expensive, as because of the lowest price, I really can't expect everything best from the VK1200 really. A simple Google search got me to its driver page and I installed the drivers by running it as admin. But as I was installing the driver, by the end of the installation, it just forced restarted my system without a warning, which was pretty freaking odd, so just save and close whatever you were doing before proceeding with this. Now because it's a 1080p panel, the Windows text scaling of 125 and even 100 will be best if you have sharp good eyes or good sharp eyes. The default 150 value was too large and congested for my liking, to be honest. Well, talking about the screen surface feel, it was pretty good, and to many of you this will feel quite close to a paper-like feel. I can't really nitpick much here, but it's good that it came with a matte screen protector already applied on it. If this is going to be your first display tablet and if you are on a learning curve, then you will be pretty pleased with it. I tested this on ZBrush for a good amount of time, and the brush strokes and the pressure sensitivity worked quite good with most of the brushes I use regularly. In Photoshop too, I felt the performance to be definitely above average, but sometimes there were some slight jitters with consistent lines though. But that's something which happened rarely. The shading pressure depth and the other linear strokes worked fine with the pen pressure. Overall, I would say definitely not the best, but not bad either. But sadly, there was a noticeable lag between the nib and the screen as I moved the pen a bit fast on it. I made sure to reinstall the drivers twice to be double sure, and the delay stayed there no matter what. The delay was similar in all the software like Photoshop, ZBrush, and even Microsoft Paint. Well, to be honest, it did worry me, but as soon as I recalled the fact that this might be the cheapest display tablet right now in many regions, well, that actually calmed my worry down a bit. But this reason only works if the next good display tablet alternative in your region costs almost 10,000 rupees more like how the Huion Camus 13 is priced here, for example. Adjusting the several display settings via the driver software is pretty handy. You can also choose several different color temperature presets. I personally found the 7500K to be best for my personal eye taste. What I did notice was that raising the contrast to max just ruins the screen completely, so you can't really go completely wild with it. You can obviously calibrate the screen and adjust the pressure curve too. The buttons can be extremely customized in the software, so happy customizing there. So if you're a beginner artist or if you're a parent looking for a display tablet for your kid so that they can just start learning from it, then this could just be a wise investment. And if you're an experienced artist and your budget is tight, you can definitely start with this as your first display tablet. But I am quite sure that you might soon crave for something better and more expensive later for sure. So yeah, as conclusion, if you are someone in India, the price of VK 1200 at around 20,000 rupees does justify its value, especially with all the goodies and accessory it comes with. But if you are someone like in the US, then the closely priced Huion Camus 13 might be a better choice. I've also reviewed it many months back, and that display tablet screamed a bit more professionalism and quality than the VK 1200 here. But sadly, as already mentioned earlier, the price difference of it here than the VK 1200 is quite wide. I will make sure to post all the links in the description below. You can buy from there if you liked my efforts on the review here. Make sure you hit the like and sub for more relevant content in the future. Stay safe humans, as I clearly failed to do so. That's all for today. Mewbot out. I can't really show you the thumb this time, can I?